And I really, it resonates, the holistic living, holistic being. So from, the spiritual to the body to, to the mental aspects. And, I'm just curious on your journey thus far. I know you work with patients who are also going through this, navigating cancer, managing proper health, nutrition, all of these things. What is one advice you would give to someone who is, looking for that type of realignment or recalibration in their nutritional well-being overall?
I would say make sure that you're addressing that you know what your health goals are. Like you should have a series of health goals that you want to work towards, and then come and see a naturopath. Because by doing that sort of stuff, you're motivated and you're ready to go, right? And so I always say, because people ask me like, what type of patients can I send to you? What type of patients are good for you? And I was like, you know what? Instead of certain conditions, yes, my background is in mental wellness, but that's only a small part. Everybody needs their mental wellness. We need to put that as part of the picture. So yes, mental wellness, depression, anxiety, that's a big thing. But the biggest thing that I'm looking for in a patient is someone who's motivated, who says, I need to put my health first and I want to do that. And if that's something that they want to do, irrespective of whatever they're coming in with, I can help with that. And that's when someone wants to see, and any naturopathic doctor, if you're motivated for your health goals, and it could be anything, whether it's, I just want to live a little bit of a healthier lifestyle. I find myself eating too much, or I've got knee pain, or I've got, lots of headaches, or my periods are all over the place, or I'm menopausal and I'm having issues. So whatever the concern is, it's that motivation.
I think that is so powerful, and that begins with the person then coming to you, and you're then helping to keep them accountable, give them the right tips and advice as they're moving forward. On your journey, and as a naturopathic doctor, you're working with your own patients, so you have your own practice, all of these things. There's the highs, the lows, life happens, and I think what I got away from our discussion briefly is just like that wellness care, the self-care, the moving in the direction of holistic living, holistic mindset. I'm just curious. I know you listed a whole bunch of recommendations. One of the questions that I ask is, what is something that you do that is funepical to express self-love? And so my word is funepical. It's fun and epic combined to express self-love, whether it's great or small, right? Like, what is something that it's just you and you're like, yes.
So for me, it's talking to the trees. So I love trees. And so, when I was living I grew up, I was born and raised in Mississauga and Brampton. So when I grew up there, I loved going for walks and runs in the trails, because there's some beautiful trails in the area. And I would, and I'm a huge Anna Green Gables fan, and that part that we live in. So, we've lived in the same area for a long time. Like it was, from, on the Mississauga side, and then my parents crossed over onto the Brampton side, but on the same street. And so we were just always on that border, the North Mississauga border. And so it's to the west where L.M. Montgomery, who wrote Anna Green Gables, that's where she lived. And so she wrote some of her stories there. And so that was a huge source of motivation for me. So then I was like, and I grew up fascinated by those books, and I'm a huge person. I love to read. So then what I did was I would look at these trees and I'm like, oh my goodness, these are the same trees that, when I read the stories, this is what Ellen Montgomery was talking about. So I would talk to the trees just like Anne would. And so I was like, I talk to the trees, and I've always sort of done that. And I was like, the trees, for me as well, as I was like, the trees have all these roots underneath, and they're so connected to each other. If I talk to some of the trees, they'll take whatever I'm feeling, and I was like, they'll send it to the ground, they'll ground me. And I touch the trees, I hug trees. Like I'm a naturopath. I love nature.
I love it.
Yeah. So for me, going out in nature was a big things. And when I moved to San Diego, I would see palm trees, and I'm like, palm trees don't have like deep roots. They're shallow. So I was like, I feel like I couldn't connect with them. And so then I would go to the ocean. When I first moved out here, I lived by the ocean. And so I would go to the ocean and I'd feel connected that way. And I was like, talk to the ocean. And, you know, I felt like it would take away anything that I was like, I'd bring stuff in and then it would take it away. And then now I live a little inland since we came back after everything. And now I came back and now we live sort of inland a little bit with the trees and mountains. And so right into the hills. So, you know, I just wave to my husband because every day we go to walks and runs in these hills. So my husband just left to go for a run to the hills, into the mountains. He goes on a specific mountain. I go on the one that's right here in our neighborhood.
That is so awesome. I would love to visit San Diego one day. It's on my to-do list.
Come on over.
Yay, that's awesome. Thanks. It has been awesome getting to learn a little bit more about who you are, your journey, and how you're supporting people through this. Can you just tell our viewers how they can get in contact with you? We'll be sure to share that in the description below.
Absolutely. So there's a few ways. Follow me, Dr. B. Khamba, ND. With Instagram or Facebook, you can look me up. You can see me there. Also my website where I write blogs about my entire journey as I've gone through it and as a means to heal others as well as myself is www.foodandmood.co. So that's a great place to connect with me and any of those ways. Otherwise, you know, like I said, find me on social media and say hello. I'm always happy to chat with people.
That's awesome. It has been a privilege and pleasure. From our team here at Empowered Facts, we're sending you lots of love today as you're getting ready, you know, for your journey and your process as well. And my heart is with you.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure to chat with you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye now.